Hello and welcome to another video. And in this time, I'm gonna be trying to explain one of the teams that I recently showcased on some of my recent videos, and it's a full offensive speedy team. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm just doing it basically for entertainment because that team, even when it's meta, it's not really recommended against, for example, tanky teams or players in real time in the tournament mode. But it's kind of fun to use it because you can absolutely destroy other teams that you might find in either the combat contest ranking arena or the combat arena ranking mode as well. You know, the one that has the Mirage or the one that has Aura and Mari. You can absolutely destroy teams there. And also in things like Expedition on Hell difficulty or the treasury, high level, high floors, and so, but not against players on real time because they are probably gonna know how to counter it. Now, what is that team specifically? That team specifically has this Seshi as the first character to play in. Basically, this character has a ton of speed and also gets more speed uh, as soon as the game starts. For people that do not know this character well, this character basically steals speed from the enemy every time she hits them, also puts speed down on them so she reduces the enemy speed. She deals critical damage to targets that immobilize, and if she's faster than the enemy, she's gonna pretend like the enemy is immobilized, so she's gonna have an increased critical chance and critical damage. She can do area of effect damage. She also stuns the enemy, and speeds herself as well as being able to steal turn meter from the enemy. These are basically a glass cannon based on damage and speed. And what you're gonna do with this character is that you're gonna either throw the area of effect skill if you want to, delete multiple enemies at once. But if you're going against, you know, a team that you are not confident that you can delete it in the first four moves of your team, then you throw the ultimate to stun your main target, the one that you want to delete first on the enemy team. And after Seshi, you're gonna go to the supreme one, and you're gonna be using Ein's negative burst skill, this one right here. So you throw back the tormentor of the enemy, or you can do it uh, vice versa as well. You throw that skill from Ein's first, so you throw all the enemies tormentor back as soon as you can, trying to assure that your team is gonna play before the enemy team, and then you go for Seshi. After Seshi, at least on my case, for how I have the speed statistics and all of that, my second character to play in is Momon, another ranger that has S on speed. In this case, I also could decide between, for example, trying to delete one enemy with the ultimate, the obliteration of all, that is a ton of magical damage, that also puts a special flame on the enemy, that is able to nullify defensive skills from the tanks, and also nullifies 50% of the target defense. And not only that, with combined with a termination set, he also has another 30% skill nullifying damage. So it's a total of 80% of the defense that is nullified on the target. And also it's a debuff on effect resistance and crit. But sorry for that. Uh, I can decide either throw the obliteration of all to try and delete someone, even tanky teams because of this particular part of the skill, or I can decide and use the Dark Flame charge to try to do damage to one enemy, and then get the increased assist rate and the increased crit for the next round for the other two characters that I have to play. And it's not a waste to use the Dark Flame charge, sorry, on the enemy, even if this skill may not kill them, because regardless if this skill kills them or not, says she's gonna perform a chase on the enemy. So says she's gonna go and attack the same enemy that moment attack, if the enemy of course survive. And if I use the Dark Flame charge, that means that Momon will have a ton of assist rate because it is 50% assist rate there plus another 20% here. So he will have at the very least 70% assist rate. At the very least. That is a ton. And then my third character to play on this speedy team is Solution, the SSR version. Uh, this is basically an area of effect mage that constantly reduces the enemy's turn meter, increases her own, and debuffs the enemies, making them basically taking more damage, more magical damage. Here, as you can see here, the important part here is uh, the third point of the ultimate skill. Before the skill is cast, Solution and her ally with the highest turn meter, that means the character that's gonna play right after her, will gain high tier attack boost for 2 rounds, and that is an increase of 40% on the attack. That is a ton. And Momon and already, so Momon and Seshi will have already played, so they're not gonna get this attack high tier attack boost. But the other character is gonna get it, and that basically assures you that all of your turns, all of your characters are gonna do a ton of damage. And then you have the bouncing guard that is basically uh, a get out of death, or revive almost free card. When she's alive and she or one ally gets little damage, they're gonna get the bouncing guard state for 2 rounds. And that basically is that the ally revives with all of their HP, but they cannot move. They cannot do anything and during 2 rounds. But if one enemy gets killed before those 2 rounds and before the ally gets killed for a second time, they revive with the current HP that they may have at the moment. Or if the 2 rounds finish and the enemy didn't kill that ally a second time, that means the ally is gonna revive, and now the ally can play and all of that. So you have this as a fail safe to keep, for example, Seshi, that is a squishy character, to keep her alive. Momon can keep himself alive with his passive. Solution can either keep someone alive with this skill or keep herself alive. So both work. And then we have the captain skill that is gonna play because neither Seshi, neither Momon or the other character that I'm gonna show you has a captain skill. So this is always gonna be your captain skill. That is Solution turn meter boost by 50% after the first action, regardless if it's an enemy or you the one with the first action, and then reduces all the enemies turn meter by 25% after Solution's first action. This basically assures you that no matter what, a Solution is gonna be likely the second character to play on the field if the enemy gets the first turn. If the enemy doesn't get the first turn, then you might have her as the third character to play. Like in my case, I have Seshit and Momont and Solution. Most of the time, at least. And exceptions may be, for example, another Solution on the battlefield on the enemy team, and she might have more speed than yours, something like that. The important part here is basically she offers you the area of effect damage to finish off enemies that might have not been dead by now, the bouncing guard as a failsafe to your team, and the captain skill to throw back the enemies through mirrors so you can still play before them. And the last character on this speedy team is Nigredo, the crazy watcher right here. This is basically a high crit damage character with a ton of assist rate as well, and her special debuffs to the enemies. But here it's gonna be used for one of three things. Either you can throw the ultimate to the enemies to do more area of effect damage. If you combine that with Seshi second skill and Solution ultimate, you still have 3 area of effect skills that will allow you to kill multiple targets, basically on the same round or one after the other, without much problem. So you can wipe the floor with this and delete multiple enemies at once. And because Seshi and Solution play before Nigredo, in my case for the speed stat, because she's the only one that doesn't have S on speed, she has A, means that she's gonna be the last one to play, and she more likely is gonna be the finisher with the ultimate. If I go for the RF effect damage. If not, I can go for the deep attack to either the enemy that I want to kill. So after Nigredo, either Momon can jump in and attack with an assist attack, or Seshi is gonna attack with the guaranteed chase. If I get lucky, both are gonna happen at the same time, so I'm gonna hit the enemy with Nigredo, then Momon, and then Seshi. If I don't get lucky, I'm gonna hit the enemy only with Nigredo. I'm not gonna achieve a critical damage, but then Seshi is gonna go in and do a chase attack. And you can use this in two forms, like I told you, just to do damage and try to kill someone, or you can throw this skill to the enemy that says she has stunned, in case that the enemy is not dead yet, because Nigredo is gonna have, for the first hit, 100% fixed chance to extend the duration of one debuff on the enemy for one round, prioritizing the control debuff. That means that when Nigredo attacks, she's gonna extend the duration of the stun that says she inflicts on the enemy for one round. So the enemy is gonna be stunned by 2 rounds unless it gets purified by like an ally priest or a passive skill that activates upon action. But ideally, with this team, you're gonna kill the enemies basically in the first moves, and not only that, but you're not gonna let them play at least no more than 1 or 2 turns. And even if they get multiple turns to play because I don't know they're really tanky or something like that, you have a lot of characters that have a ton of speed, ways to accelerate their turn meter, and the fail safe from solution. Because as I told you earlier, says she can steal turn meter from the enemy and she's really fast, so she's gonna get a turn really quickly. Momon is naturally used that fast, is literally that fast, so he's gonna be constantly playing. Then solution is really fast, but not that much. But when she inflicts multiple debuffs on the enemies, she's gonna get accelerated her turn meter by a little bit. And then Nigredo, if she throws the ultimate at someone with her special debuff, she's also gonna gain 30% turn meter boost, just like Seshi. Or if one enemy with the special debuff of Gaze that Nigredo inflicts moves, Nigredo then is gonna get a turn meter increase of 25%, and that can happen multiple times. So Nigredo can literally get a ton of turns in a row very very quickly without the enemy even knowing how it's going on or what is happening. But that will be the second use of Nigredo on this team. The third use might be, as another assist rate character. Like in the case that Momon doesn't jump to do the assist to one enemy, Nigredo might be able to be the one that jumps instead. So let's say I play Seshi, I throw, the ultimate at some enemy that I want to kill or at least keep without, keep out of the play with the stun for a little while. If Momon doesn't jump with the assist, Nigredo can jump with the assist attack because she has a naturally a good assist rate, and then her second skill gives her more assist rate up, and then she has more assist rate against targets with her special debuff that she inflicts as soon as the game starts. So she can jump in and help Seshi to kill the enemy. And then I get Momon's turn, I can throw either the ultimate, but let's say I throw the second skill, the Dark Flame charge. I do that and then do more damage to one enemy, and if I get lucky, Nigredo is gonna jump in, do the assist attack, and then it's gonna go the guaranteed chase from Seshi. Then I'm gonna play Solution and do the Army of Effect skill because it's her highest damage skill. Try to kill either multiple enemies or one or whatever. At least I'm gonna have the guaranteed, chase from Seshi to try to kill the enemy. But then you can have either Nigredo or Momon jump in and do the assist. If you only had one, let's say Momon, maybe you don't get lucky and he doesn't jump, he doesn't do the extra damage out of turn. So having here Nigredo helps you to, if Momon doesn't do the assist, she's gonna do it. Or maybe you get lucky and both do it. And if both do that, that's gonna be really, really dangerous for the enemy. That's almost guaranteed death. And then Nigredo has a ton of speed and ways to accelerate her turn meter really, really fast. So she fits here into the, the thematic of really fast characters that also do a ton of damage. So that will be the theme. And you still have, the only thing you don't have is healing and, you know, uh, tanks. But you have control effects. You have the silence of Nigredo. You have the ultimate of Teshi that stuns. You have debuffs to, lower the speed of the enemy. You have special burns for the enemy. You have the special debuff from Solution the Addition that makes them receive more magical damage. You have a failsafe in case someone dies from Solution passive skill, and Momon can keep himself alive with his passive skill that is basically an out of death free card. And then you have, for example, Nigredo, that if the enemy gets to play somehow before all of your team, Nigredo is gonna get accelerated, and she's probably gonna be able to play right after that enemy, avoiding the enemy to have, like a chain of multiple turns in a row before your own. And you can disrupt that chain by using that same turn of Nigredo to silence the next enemy and things like that. It's kind of fun. It's to do a ton of damage very quickly. This team. It's not gonna be the most meta because you're lacking tanks and you're lacking healers that are really good, like Anniversary of Valor Pandora's Actor, for example. But try it. It's kind of fun. I'm doing this exactly for that. And yeah, with that, I'm just gonna leave you here some of the combats again to show you how this team may work, and that will be all. So thanks for being here, and until the next time, I guess.